The tools you will need to clip your sheep are a clipping stand, hand shears, a large carding comb, and some small carding combs, or a dog brush works just as well, and some scissors. There are a few things you're going to need to do before you begin clipping your sheep, the first of which is bathing and blowing dry your sheep. You'll then cover it with a blanket and leave it alone for a few days to ensure that your wool is completely dry before you start clipping. Then, the day you're ready to clip, you remove your sheep's blanket, and you just remove any extra dirt that's still on your sheep using your dog brush. Your next step is to start carding your sheep. You use the large carding comb on the majority of their body, just like this. So hold your comb upright, put your hand on like this, lay down, and pull. All these big spots you can do with the large carding comb, and then their legs, and their head and neck, you do with a small carding comb, or even a dog brush. The first area on your sheep that you're going to start clipping is their back and their sides. So you want to avoid taking very large chunks. You usually take very small ones, not much bigger than this at a time. Hold your shears flat along their back because you want their back to be as flat and as straight as possible. And keep removing the wool as you clip it. It's not the end of the world if you leave a very large hole in the sheep because you can card it back out with the carding comb. Once your back is completely flat the way you like, which I'd keep going on this sheep, she's not quite finished, then you also move to the sides and you do the same thing perpendicular to the back, all the way along the sides. When clipping the shoulders and the chest of your sheep, you want to also clip the chest nice and flat. But when doing the shoulders, you want to round them and kind of sculpt them, make them look muscly, and you also don't want it to be a flat line between the shoulder and the side. You want to clip in right here for a little bit of definition in the shoulder, and then use your shears and kind of round the shoulder out. At this time, you can also round between the sides and the back so that you don't have any straight corners to make it. It should look like a box, but it should be rounded in the corners. When doing the hindquarters, it's also quite similar to the shoulders. You want them to have some definition. You want them to look round and muscly. So you add a little definition in here, and you clip around. Like this, taking off small bits to create definition in the hind end. And you clip the back a little bit flatter, and then round. When clipping the neck, you want to really blend it in, because you've been clipping from about here back and not really doing much at the front, so you don't want your neck to look a lot larger than the rest of your sheep, but you also don't want it to look a lot smaller. So most of the clipping on the neck is meant to kind of blend the wool together. So you can see here I've kind of got a big chunk here and it's a lot shorter right here. So at this time, I'd clip this down a little bit to blend in the neck. For doing the legs, I'm going to use scissors because they're smaller. So all these tufts of hair right here, they kind of look scraggly and dirty. So I'm just going to clean those up. You can either clip them right off or you can just clip them flat and make them look clean. So these are just some of the basics of sheep clipping. I've still got a lot of work left to do on this lamb, so I'm going to go do that now, and I'll see you later.